This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. You ready?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ayoo podcast. 30 days ago, I did not know where the fuck I would be. I didn't know where June in Jersey was gonna go, where it was gonna take me. But ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the final episode of the month. 120 pieces of content in 30 days. Something I don't think anybody in Jersey has done. And what but to have a perfect guest to close off our first ever June in Jersey. My friend, my homie. Please take a couple minutes, seconds, whatever you want, and let the people know who you are.
What's up, y'all? I'm Niyah, aka Niyah Badass, or DJ Niyah, whatever you guys know me as. Do I say like what do I do, or just say what do I?
A little bit of everything. Just give me a quick introduction.
Where the fuck am I? I'm Niyah. I'm a DJ, producer as well. Really cool person. I'm just freaking cool, man. I'm just a human, alien at times. And yeah, just out here paving the way for females in the industry. Love creative shit, and that's just who I am.
I bet, Niyah. So let's just hop right into it. What I like to do with a lot of the artists or any entrepreneurs or DJs, anybody who comes onto the podcast, is I like to start from the beginning, all right? Mm-hmm. So tell me about where you grew up.
I grew up in Paterson, New Jersey for about like 8 years of my life. And then I moved to Clifton and I grew up there as well. But I feel like my roots are from Paterson. So I feel like that's where I grew up. But yeah, I grew up around Clifton and Paterson. Yeah.
Yeah, so do me a favor. What I like to do with people who are growing up from the cities they're from, why don't you do me a favor and describe Paterson to me?
Paterson is obviously, there's a lot of bad things about it, but in general, I feel like Paterson is such a creative place. I feel like there's just so many people, so many talented people, so many people from different places. That's why I like where I'm from, even like the Clifton area and like Paterson. Like there's just so many people from different cultures. So I grew up with so many different people from different places. And yeah, Paterson is just it's gonna be something one day. I feel like, but as of right now, Paterson is Paterson, New Jersey, and the people who are from there rep it all day, every day. But Paterson's gonna be great one day. I feel like it's full of great people, and there's a lot of bad things going on around it. But I have hope and faith that one day it'll be better for the community.
For sure. I think a lot of people who come from Paterson in and around like have just this crazy, like it's like when me and winter break were talking about it, it's almost like a love-hate relationship.
Very
right?
much, yeah.
Because it's like, one day you be there and like, for example, you got like the Puerto Rican parades, Peruvian parades, but then you be leaving your car overnight and your shit is all gone.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? But there's so much culture, there's so much food, it's great.
Right.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about how it was, what age did you start getting into music?
I think I've always been into music. Like my parents had big ass speakers in the house growing up. Yeah, so they played a lot of music. I've always been into music. I really started getting into it, I would say, like, I feel like I've just always been into music. Yo, I used to have, like, CD players, MP3 players. I used to be on LimeWire downloading my shit, So, like, I could say I've always been into music, like, heavily. Around, like, the age, like, 10 to, like, 13, like, that's when I started, like, I would go to a lot of hall parties my whole life. So I would always peep the DJ, always be the kid asking the DJ to play a certain song. For my family barbecues, I would always have the aux, always gave it to me. Like, I don't know, it's just like, it was just around, and I was very like getting like much into it. And then I think I just had to ask my mom one day, like, for a laptop because I wanted to be a DJ. I think I just started saying it once I started seeing DJs. I was just like, at parties, I was just like, that's what I think I should try and do. And yeah, she bought me my laptop, and that's when I just really got in. That's when I really got into everything. But I've always been into music so heavily, like always downloading it, just on it all the time.
So what age was it where she got you like the laptop?
I think I was 14. I think 14 or 15. It was Christmas. Don't remember exactly, but I know it was 14 or 15.
And so like, so from there you get the laptop. Did you get your DJ set there at that time too, or like when did you actually start to mix around and actually like fuck around with music like that?
Once I got my laptop, I did not get any equipment, so I had asked a friend of mine who was a DJ if I could just start like using his equipment. So I would just pull up to his house, plug my laptop in, ask him to show me a couple of things, and just started messing around on his equipment here and there. And then I finally got my own equipment. But it's funny because I think I only had one deck. Yeah, I had one deck. I forgot what it was, but I was just like, it wasn't like I couldn't go from deck to deck and DJ. Like I was just learning how to DJ on one deck and like a mixer. And yeah, I just practiced at home a lot. So I guess I just, I started practicing at his house and then eventually got my own deck after a while.
So around what like age did you finally get your own deck?
I think like not too long after that was probably like maybe 16. I probably got like my first controller, but I really like practice. I was part of like a whole DJ group, so I really practiced a lot on their equipment. Like we would like all link up together and just like make mixes and stuff, and I would just like really watch them a lot, and then like go home and like practice sometimes. Got my equipment at like 15, like probably around the same year eventually. Yeah.
Word. Do you remember what like your first actual gig was? Like whether it was like family or actual like, performing for people?
Yeah, my first gig was I think it was a Halloween party that Primetime DJs, the DJ group I was a part of, that we threw. They would always throw parties. We would always throw parties. But I finally was like, all right, like I think this is a gig. They put me on first. I was so nervous. And yeah, I DJ'd my first set at the Primetime DJ's Halloween party. It was so scary. I will never forget that shit.
And where was it?
It was in like a warehouse in Paterson. A lot of people, lots of vibes. It was nerve-wracking, obviously. Like, imagine performing like in front of people, especially DJing. Like, you're literally the entertainment of like music. So, yeah. Good times though.
So you know what? It's actually funny. I've been in the music industry too for a long time, and to be completely honest with you, even sitting here, I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even know what goes into DJing. Like like I'm starting to think about it. I'm like, what? You just like like, are you picking the next button like on like Spotify? I know it's deeper than that,
right,
obviously,
yeah.
right? But so what did you actually have to learn at first before that first show to like actually even be able to do what you do?
It's crazy because like I'm starting to teach people how to DJ now, and like I'm going back to like how I have to teach them how to learn, or like the beginnings of the basics. So now I'm remembering like, damn, I really had to learn all of this. So what I had to learn was like counting, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like it's hard for people to count, believe it or not. Like that's what I had to learn too. And beat matching, like what's beat matching? Like I guess basically having both songs hitting the same beat, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I feel like a lot of it is counting. That's what I really had to learn, and then also had to learn how to transition. Basically, like once you get the counting down and you have like both songs on beat, and that's like when you can switch to the next song because it's not gonna be overlapping. So I think beat counting, I had to learn transitioning. Like different like techniques to go from one song to another, and I feel like those are like the really strong basics that what you have to know how to DJ.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. So
does that make sense to you?
No, it does make sense to me because I'm trying to think because like sometimes when people are DJ, you always see different people like and how they're like they get their skills and like making certain like transitions, and some transitions go really hard. And then you also have like, I remember being in middle school, right? And you always had that local DJ that came through. And for me, like I grew up in Little Falls, right?
Yeah.
So
I grew up in Little Falls.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know. There was a DJ who was like a regular DJ, right?
Yeah.
And I just remember him just like hitting the slide on shit, and it
Yeah.
would just be like the worst, like kind of
Yeah.
transition.
Yeah.
And the music was never like crazy. And this also sucks because like in middle school, like what crazy songs could you play like in
Yeah.
middle school, right? But I remember that was like my first time looking into DJing, right? And it's funny too because even like Tyler, who we've had on the podcast before, when we were in middle school, maybe like high school, he bought his first DJ set too. Like I think it was I forget what it was called, but it was like the regular one that everybody could like. Basically, it's like if you had to get a first set
Yeah.
that wasn't professional or like somewhat there,
Yeah.
like this was it, right?
I feel like I know
it
what
was-
you're talking about.
it looked like a DJ Hero type shit, right?
Yeah.
And it was red. It had a red program as well. And I remember him trying to do that. And I was just like, damn. I was like, let's get into this shit. And it's not easy. It's not
No.
easy. And the amount of music, like your music catalog inside your brain,
Yes.
has to be huge.
Yes.
It has to be huge. And you have to also be able to know how to read a crowd, read a
All the
vibe,
time,
and
yeah.
everything. So, what were like the biggest things you learned from that first performance? Was there anything that went well and anything that went really bad?
I'm not gonna lie, I have a bad memory, so that was long ago, so I don't remember much. I just remember being nervous. But like after the first few gigs, like yeah, like you definitely learn a lot. You definitely like, I'm so nervous during these first performances. So like over time, that eventually goes away. I get more comfortable with myself. I feel like what I learned the first few gigs is just like I'm so anxious and I'm just like scared and from going one song to the next, making sure I'm on point, making sure I'm on time, reading the crowd. Like, you look up and if no one's vibing, it's like, fuck, what am I doing wrong? But, over time I learned that like once you just get used to it, everything just flows. And obviously that takes time and patience and stuff. But I just learned how to just be patient, be comfortable, breathe, and just vibe because it's fun at the end of the day.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about, so during this time, so you said you're maybe around like 16, 17, right?
Yeah.
What else were you doing besides music around this time?
Going to school, playing basketball, and softball. I was involved in a lot of sports. So did that. And I also had I think I started like doing some of I just had jobs, my bad. I just mixed that up. But I had jobs. So I would work at I worked at a retail store and stuff. So I would be doing all these things, mostly school and sports and work. And then like also just DJing.
So after, because I remember, I don't know exactly what age this was, because I know for you, because I do a little bit of research as well, around 18, right, is when, so after that first show, were you regularly DJing after that?
After that, no. People wouldn't book me, so that's when I started Electric Vibes. I don't know if remember Electric Vibes.
Tell me about Electric Vibes.
Electric Vibes was an event that I started because I wouldn't get booked. And I was like, yo, fuck this. I'm going to throw my own parties. So, bam, I planned my own parties. I found a venue. And then that's when I booked some artists to perform while I DJ in between. And, like, I really wanted to do this because I wanted to play what I, like, listen to. I wanted to DJ my music. And I feel like I never got the opportunity to do that in this area sometimes because what I would have to DJ is, like, Spanish music or, certain songs and stuff. But, like, my catalog, I was like, yo, I want, like, to vibe with my music with the people who listen to the same thing as me. So yeah, Electric Vibes, I started this whole party and I DJ and have some performers and it was just jumping. It was a time. It was a time for me, yeah.
Where was it held? Like in Paterson or Clifton?
It was in Woodland Park at Smacktone Studios. They had like a little venue back there in the cut.
Yeah, I remember. I've been to Smacktone before too. Hell yeah, dude.
Good time, yo.
So how did it go about like organizing that? Because like I mean like you're young at this time, right?
Yeah, so young. I still can't believe I did like those things to this day because I'm trying to throw parties now and I'm like, yo, how did I used to do that so quick? Because now it feels so hard to like throw events. But I think I had gone to an event there. I saw the space. I was like, yo, what? So I spoke to like the person at the front desk, got the contact, went, put down a deposit, and boom, like it's booked people, made a flyer, and like, bam. And I couldn't do it without my family, yo. My family helps me with everything. I had my dad at the front door collecting tickets all the time, and my mom helping me decorate, and my aunt, like, they was my team.
Sick. So talk to me a little bit about your family then. How did your family feel like when you first started getting into this DJ game?
My family's always been supportive. I'm very, very, very blessed. My family's always been supportive. They help me with everything. Like I said, my mom bought me my laptop. and helped me with my equipment. Like they helped me with all my equipment, like, getting speakers and stuff eventually. Like they were always there. Like I don't know where I would be without my family, but they always helped me with everything that I do. Me and my million ideas, they got my back. They're here like, how can I help? Like do this, giving me ideas, helping me organize everything. They're always like helping me with everything I do.
Word. So how did it come about then? So your family was helping you with this Electric Vibes event?
Yeah.
So bad. So your dad was like collecting tickets.
My dad was collecting tickets.
Aunt was helping decorate.
Yep.
That's sick. That's sick. So
Yeah.
how many of these events did you actually end up doing?
Damn, I don't even remember. I probably like 5 to 7 overall. Probably like 5 to 7. Because I ended up moving into like a different venue too. I was like tired of the one I was going to, and I went to Black Flag Shop. Shout out Black Flag Shop, and they had a venue in the back, and I started throwing Electric Vibes there, and then eventually it stopped. But yeah, about 5 to 7.
So what were some things that you were learning from doing these events?
What did I learn? I think I learned that like I could do anything. Like, yo, I used to pull these off. Like, I used to have hundreds of people in there in these small venues. And I realized, like, I didn't need anybody to book me. I could be doing this myself. Like, I don't have to wait for opportunities to come. You have to go get those opportunities yourself and make the opportunities. I think that's what I learned most. And I learned, like, music brings everybody together. I had everybody there supporting all these artists around me and supporting me and just having a great time.
Do you remember any of the artists that you like had performing there?
Yeah, I had Fuego, Winter Break. This rapper called Big Dog. He's from New York. He was a hit for everybody. I would always put him last. It's this dude who just like had all his boys jumping on stage and had the crowd lit. He was from New York. I had there's been so many people. I want to look at my flyers, but good amount of people. I had J Ray, now Jalissa Ray. Yeah, good amount of people.
So from Electric Vibes and doing these events and learning and getting that like, you know, exposure and getting that experience, what was that next step for you then after this?
After like Electric Vibes and stuff, I think that's when I like really got into concerts. So I started reaching out to a whole bunch of people on Instagram and stuff to see if I could DJ concerts. And that's when I started DJing. Well, I got my first gig for Joey Badass concert. So I think like right after like Electric Vibes, it was such like a concert vibe. You know, everybody mosh pitting and like the artists and me DJing. Like I had to turn. I was like, yo, like I want to do this for real, like in a venue with an artist I love. And that's when I got the Joey Badass gig. And after that, like after, you know, Electric Vibes, it's been years. So like I started getting, you know, a lot of more bookings locally and stuff. And then, like I said, I got my first concert gig.
So talk to me, how did the Joey Badass thing come about?
I was a huge Pro Era fan, and I would go to a lot of their concerts in New York and wait online for hours and stuff. But I was just a big Pro Era fan, and then like they didn't know me, but I guess like, you know, I would go to meet and greets and stuff. So I think his name was he goes by Sir, so I think it's Joey Badass's cousin. I knew him, and like we followed each other on Instagram and like just kept in touch here and there. But I had to hit him up because I saw Joey Badass was gonna be in New York, and I was like, hey, like, is there any opportunity that I could just open up? Like, he was like, I'll talk to them about it, and then boom, like, it just happened, and I was just like, let's fucking go. I was still in high school, yeah, that shit was crazy, cause like, you know, these are the people I rocked with, like Pro Eras. Like that is what really got me into music too. Like that's when I was deep in my hip hop bag. So yeah, just like being able to DJ for the people I really like fucked with heavily was fucking amazing.
So talk to me about like, so you talked to Joey Badass's cousin and you just end up asking if you could like open up like I guess a DJ set for him.
Yeah.
Were you DJing his show as well? Or you just opened up?
I just opened up. Yeah, it was so packed. forgot the name of the venue. It was and not in New York City. It was somewhere in New York. I've been to that venue a couple of times now, but packed, huge venue. And yeah, I don't remember if I was the first or second act, but definitely one of those two. And just threw down vibes.
So talk to me about that. You get to this venue, right? So they tell you time and place, I guess, right? When to get there. So what was pre-show like? Did you get to meet Joey Badass? Did you get to meet his crew? Like, what was it like?
I was so young, so it was just so scary, especially like, I'm a female, so all pro air is full of guys. And then I had got there and I went to the green room and I sat there. I went with two of my boys who are DJs. I asked them to come with me. I didn't want to go alone. And I sat there by the couches and there was nobody there. And then out of nowhere, like half the team walks in. I guess they had just finished sound check and they all like go to get food. And I'm just sitting there like, damn, like the whole PE is really in here. And, like, I didn't know, like, I didn't want to go up and say, hey, what's up? Like, Niyah or whatever. I just kind of just sat there and I just, like, nodded my head and just sat there and, like, on my laptop getting, like, my set ready and stuff. And then, like, they were just chilling there eating. I don't think Joey was there. It was more just the rest of Pro Era. And then by that time, like, they were like, oh, like, it's about to be your set or whatever. And I just got up and I just went. And then, yeah, I DJ'd. So nerve-wracking because I was still new. Like, I've never DJed in front of that many people in my life.
Word.
So that shit was hard.
And how many people was it about?
I want to say like 1,000, probably 1,000. But yeah, I DJ'd for a little bit. I remember playing some Schoolboy Q, like, some Kendrick, this shit we listened to. And then I walked off. Went to the back. I was just like, yo, that's crazy. And then I went to the, what do you call that, like the top, like I didn't want to chill in the green room, so I just went to the top of the balcony, and that's when I crossed with Joey. He was going down the stairs. Well, I was going up the stairs. He was about to go down the stairs, and he was like, yo, good set. And then like he deafed me, and I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. And I was like, I was just so hyped. And then I went upstairs and watched the whole show. I was so lit.
Did you end up taking a picture with Joey Badass?
Yeah.
How did that come about?
After the whole show was done, I went back to the green room and I was like, hey, like, I think I asked her, I was like, yo, can I get a pic with Joey? And then I went to his room and then that's when we took pics and I just thanked him. I was just so like grateful.
So how was that conversation going? Because like Joey Badass is one of the people like you fuck with like the most, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm Niyah Badass.
So talk to me about that conversation that happened like between you. Was it just like a quick like hello, like get a picture and then like head out, or?
It was kind of just a quick hello, got a picture, but I said thank you, because obviously after a show everybody's just tired, so I said thank you and we took a picture and like I kind of just left.
So anything happened after that? You didn't like slip out like yo, I DJ too, so like what's up, like, or was it just like after that you were just like yo thank you and then you just like headed out to the next venture?
Yeah, I mean I said my thank yous and then I left. Like I said, I was still in high school, so like I'm literally probably going to school the next day and stuff. So it's fucking crazy. I know.
That's fucking lit. So talk to me about your name then, Niyah Badass.
Yeah.
So. Is it literally just after Joey?
Yeah, it's really after Joey. Like, I don't remember when I started listening to Joey, like, long time ago, probably, like, before I started DJing. So, like I said, I was just a big Pro Era fan, and then that's when, like, Instagram came out, and I probably had, like, a Niyah X3 or something, and I was just like, yo, I need a cooler name. So, I don't know, I just took Niyah Badass just because, like, Joey Badass was my favorite rapper, and, it just stayed, and then I became this DJ, and it just stayed, and now, like, like I never changed it, so it's always just been Niyah Badass, and people started calling me that in school and stuff, so I stuck with it.
What drew you most to Joey's music and, like, being a fan of Pro Era?
The lyrics, like, it really felt like old school. Like, yo, it's funny because that was like around the same time Chief Keef came out. And like I was so against Chief Keef. And my brother was such a Chief Keef fan. I'm like, nah, like I was like one of those, like, once you started listening to Pro Era, like it's some real shit. It's just like some 90s like bop. Like it was such a fucking vibe. So yeah, I didn't fuck with no other music. I mean, I fucked with like Thug and shit, but like I don't know, I was just so inclined to like Joey's music and his wordplay and like the bops and like even just going to the concerts. Like it was such a time when PE was just taking over, and I was just part of that whole era. So Yeah.
Sweet, sweet. So you go back to high school, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're still in high school, right? This is actually wild because I feel like, especially you went to what high school did you go to?
Clifton High School.
Clifton High School. All right, CHS, right?
CHS.
CHS. That's funny. I actually had somebody sitting here the other day too that I did a podcast with from CHS too. But you go back. How is the reactions from like your classmates and stuff? Like that's pretty wild.
Everybody was just like, "Yo, congratulations! That's crazy." Yeah, I got a lot of congratulations, and like it was major, like that shit's crazy. But people said congratulations and stuff, and I was just like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," and like just started like getting very inspired by that, obviously, because that shit was crazy to me. It's still crazy, like that was my first concert gig.
So talk to me a little bit then after. So what year was that in high school for you?
So bad with timing. I want to say like 2017. Nope, I lied. I graduated 2016. Like 2015.
2015. Bet. So what did life look after that Joey Badass concert? Because I mean that's definitely like a milestone in anybody's career and what they're doing. So after that, are you putting more electric vibes up? Are you just gigging? Like what's Niyah doing at this time?
I think I was just gigging at the time. Definitely threw another Electric Vibes. Definitely, because I think I threw an Electric Vibes the same year, 2015, and I think I threw my last one 2016. No, 2015. 2015 probably the last Electric Vibes, but yeah, I think I threw another one of those. Definitely local gigs. I'm very bad with my memory.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Cause cause I be thinking to myself, like, when did I start DJing at this bar? Like, was I still in high school? Like, I swear I don't remember a lot of shit, but definitely did Electric Vibes. Like I said, just going to school. I worked at a lot of daycares, so during that time, I was just working as well and doing basketball and just hustling. Honestly, just trying to see what I could do next.
So when was the first time then after this time period where like because you graduate high school, right?
Yeah.
After you graduate high school, did you decide to try to go to college, or were you just trying to just pursue music?
It's funny because I just had this conversation with my parents 2 days ago, and like my mom was getting mad at me, but like I ended up going to college, and I wanted to just do music, but I was like, I guess I'll try college because my parents wanted me to go to college. So I went to college for about a year and a half. I did Bloomfield College for a semester, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to go to like a college. Like I'll probably just switch to a community college. So then I went to Passaic County Community College after. So
Shout out PCCC, yeah.
PCCCC. Yeah, PCCC was cool, but I'm not gonna lie, I like Bloomfield better. I feel like the teachers it was a cooler experience definitely than the PCCC. Once I was in there, I was just like, oh fuck this shit. But it was also over time. Like I didn't want to do this, so I'm about to tell you a story. So
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, basically I wanted to do music full time for sure. Like, but my parents wanted me to go to college, so I tried it out. And then I remember, I think it was like the third semester, and I was just like telling myself like I'm not gonna sign up for college, and I didn't break the news to them. And we were all just sitting like in the living room, and then I think they had asked me, and I was going to tell them, but I was not ready yet. So then they asked me, and I'm not gonna lie, so I was just honest. I was just like, I'm not gonna sign up this semester. I wanted to take a break. That was what I was saying. And then I had a whole intervention. My freaking grandmother was there too, so like they're all going in like why I gotta go to college, this and that. And then I'm just like, mind you, like they support me in my music, but they just wanted me to go to college. So bro, why they spoke to me, and then the next day I went to sign up for the fucking semester. And that was my last semester, though, because once I was in that semester, I was just like, yo, I cannot. I swear, I remember I was sitting in math class, and I was reading my DJ Khaled book because I would not pay attention. I was reading my DJ Khaled book, trying to get inspired. And then I went to the bathroom, and like, I don't know, I just got very, like, emotional because I'm, like, so mad that I'm sitting in that classroom with this bum professor who was just not it. And then I was just like getting real angry, and then I just like calmed myself in the bathroom. I even have a picture of it because I was crying, but I will never forget that day. I don't know what like got into me. I was just like, yo, I don't want to be here. And then I had wrote a letter to my parents. It was my first year going to Rolling Loud, and I had finished that semester. I'm pretty sure I failed. because I swear I tried, but I didn't try hard enough. And I had like online classes. That shit was hard. I had opera online. Opera, bro.
How do you have opera online?
I swear to God, that was so hard. Not it. Like it's so hard. Like,
do you remember anything from that class?
I remember like going on like to do the homework and stuff, and like you had to press play for things, and he's like, and like you had to figure out what was like A or B, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I just keep hearing the same shit. Like,
bro, that's hilarious. I have an opera minor from my college, so like I studied opera for 2 years,
hey, bro.
and I'm just thinking, I'm like,
you studied opera?
Yeah.
So I'm not alone.
I sing opera too. So it's
all right, you gotta pull up to the crib and sing for us one day, then.
I'm down, bro. Hell yeah, bro. I'll do my thing. You know, it's funny because I'm just thinking, I'm like, yo, how the fuck do you do opera online? Like that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, it
right?
really doesn't. That's so fucked up. How am I supposed to learn that?
And you know what's funny with your whole story too? It's like I love it whenever I ask about school to anybody on the podcast, bro, because you can see like, you know, we've been comfortable, you know, a couple questions here and there, and you're at school, and bro, the body position is just like. It's like, yo,
school is tough, like, bro.
Yeah, school's fucking tough. And it's like, you grow up, especially, your ethnicity, your background.
Puerto Rican.
Any Latino, right, always has like roots of just like, yo, you need to go to school. You need to finish. You need to do this. Like, make the family proud. Like, make the village proud. You know what I mean? You always hear stories of like, you know, your great grandma or something. She walked to school barefoot 50 miles, you know, went over 5 bridges.
That exact story.
Like, I was just like, damn, like everybody's grandma was wild back in the day, right? And so when you talk about not finishing college, like, it's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what are you doing? Like, you disgrace the family, you know what I mean? So after that, sorry, just think about this, hilarious, dude. So after that semester, right, you finally leave. What is your parents' like immediate reaction after that? So you knew you had to just get out of there.
Get out of there. It was so depressing for me. But like I said, I wrote my parents like a 5-6 page letter, and I was going to Rolling Loud that year. I'm so fucking mad. I think 2018 or whatever. Don't hold me to these things. But I went to Rolling Loud, and I left this letter in my room, and then I could not say it to their face. So I texted my brother, like, because it was like Mother's Day. I think I did it after Mother's Day or before Mother's Day. I don't remember. But dramatic. I was in
That's dramatic.
Yeah, it was hard because it was like, damn, do I want to fuck up her Mother's Day or not?
Yo, you're savage.
So I told my brother, I'm like, yo, I left a letter. Can you please leave it on the table until like mommy, papi to read it? And yeah, like they fucking read it, and then they texted me while I was in Miami, and then like this was just so crazy because I remember my dad, like, I think he was like, yeah, like, I'm disappointed or something, but like, it's all right, like, I understand. And my mom was just like, okay, like, they texted me like, okay, like, we get it. And I think they told me like my brother spoke to them, and then he was telling them like, you know, like, college is not for everyone. And then like with my letter and with him doing that, I think they realized, yeah, like, you know, you don't have to go to school to be like, they see that I have to be fully invested in music. I can't do half this, half that. Like, no, like, music is all the way. Like, I'm spending my time on things that don't have anything to do with what I truly want to do. So I think like, that talk and everything, it sunk in. Cause like, you know, they grew up like saying, school is everything. You have to go to college. So I can't blame them. And that's what we were like talking about the other day. Cause I'm like, yo, y'all forced me to go to college. And they're like, my mom was getting upset. She was like, what do you mean, like that, like we supported you in your dreams, so blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, like, thank you for that, but you know, like, I went to college for you. I didn't go for myself. But I understand, like, as they grew up, that was the mindset of their parents and, you know, generations and stuff. So I can't blame them, but they accepted it, and now they see that, you know, you don't have to go to college to do what you want to do or anything. Honestly, you could just, college is not for everybody, and they realize that. So I'm thankful for that and grateful. But obviously I went through that little time, but they always supported me in my dreams. So it was just me just like really taking full on initiative and being like, I'm sorry, I'm not going back. Like, as much as I want me to, I'm not. But they understood, and look at how far it took me, honestly.
I think a big point to kind of add to your story is that college isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
But the worst thing is and I still believe that for a lot of people, but the worst thing is that college isn't for everybody. And then the people who find out college isn't for them and they don't know what their passion is yet. They don't have that inspiration.
It's hard.
But I think for you, you know, because I'm hearing this and it's not for nothing, yo. I'm like, yo, you could leave a letter, but you texting from Miami? That's just the boldest shit, bro.
I was not facing them, yo.
Bro, as a Latino,
I poured my heart out into that letter.
Bruh, like I don't even know if I'd be allowed back in my house. Like, how do I come back? Like what was it like coming? Okay, hold on. We'll get there. We'll get there. How was Rolling Loud then for you? Because Rolling Loud is like now, like this is, you're talking about experiencing pretty much the premiere of like having the most, our generation's basically like where all the artists come together and perform and they have their sets. What did Rolling Loud then do for you? Like how was that even like processed in your mind? Where did the idea come from? Who did you go with?
I went with my cousin Denasia. We put like I think they do the monthly plans or something. We just did it. We're like, yo, let's go. So I went, got to see everybody I wanted to see. I think that was my favorite last year of Rolling Loud, but nothing against Rolling Loud. It's just like, it was an experience for me because after that I got into the music industry. So now I'm just surrounded so much, but this was like the first time, my first festival ever. So it was just overall the best experience of my life. But yeah, we went, I saw everybody. I had so much fun. Like I was in mosh pits. Like it was a time of my life. Would never forget that. And I was just so inspired. I'm like, yo, I'm going to be here performing in Rolling Loud one day. I kept saying that to myself because it's like, honestly, all like the rappers and hip hop, it's just all what I want to be in. That was everything I wanted to do. So yeah, definitely inspired me so much. I've experienced so much from that. And I told myself I'm going to be here one day, and it's crazy because the next year I was there, and I would have never thought it would be a year later, you know? Like, that shit's crazy to me. So, what a fucking experience, yeah.
So, real quick, before we get there, I got to know.
So much.
I got to know. What was your parents' reaction when you came back into the house? I just got to know that real quick.
It wasn't anything bad. It was
chill?
just, like, making it normal.
Word.
Type of thing.
Shout out your parents, yo. Shout out your parents.
Shout out my fucking parents. They were like goats.
They lit for sure,
Yes.
for sure. So you come out of Rolling Loud, you're mad inspired.
Very inspired.
What was the next steps then to what led up to that year? What happened in that year before getting up to perform there and then like when you left Rolling Loud? Actually,
it's fucking crazy because I used to look up to Yes Jules a lot. And I didn't mention this, but I went on Twitter and I was looking up hella emails. I was like in the search bar looking up like Yes Jules, the 1 a.m. emails because that was her brand. Yes Jules emails, looking for people's emails. Found a whole bunch of emails. And then I wrote this letter to whatever emails I wrote. I had hella emails. I just wrote this letter to send out to them. And I was basically saying like, you know, I don't want to be in college no more. I be putting my heart into everything I write.
Yeah.
I was just like, I just want to like intern for you guys, blah, blah, blah. Somebody, Dre, replied. And yeah, I started interning for them a little bit because they were based, I think, in Miami or in Cali at the time. I don't know. But I was from New Jersey, so there wasn't much I could do. But they kept me in the loop. I would like make like weekly playlists. So fast forward, I was going to Miami for Rolling Loud. They were having an event, and Dre, which is she worked for 1 a.m. She's the one who like read my email and wanted me to be around the team. She told me that they're having a party, so I was gonna intern, like I was gonna help out, and then they told me they needed a DJ to open up, and I was just like, hell yeah, like that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to DJ for 1 a.m. So I went, I DJ'd my first set for Yes Jules and 1 a.m. Such a crazy experience. And then like the next day was Rolling Loud. So yeah, that all happened. So I'm like, this whole trip completely inspired me. Like I got my first gig for somebody I really looked up to in her brand, and I'm opening, and then boom, Rolling Loud inspired me. And then what was your question?
We're leading up to like actually performing at Rolling Loud for the first time.
Yeah, so then I started like interning for like Yes Jules after that. Like not so much. Like when they would go to New York and have events there, I'd perform. I'll do a set and stuff, and I'll also help like behind the scenes, like posters, setting up and everything before then. Yeah, and then the Rolling Loud was in like May, so like in July and stuff is when like Jules came to like New York and stuff, and then I don't even know. I guess I was just working the rest of that year. I was working. I was at the Boys and Girls Club working, and I was doing Costco in December, and then that was such a small amount of time, and then that's when I reached out to somebody on Instagram. I would DM a lot of people, and he got back to me. He was a manager for Smoke Perp. I was a fan of Smoke Perp at the time, so I was hoping like I could DJ for Smoke Perp. I was just putting my name out there in his DMs, like if you ever need a DJ, blah blah blah. He got back to me a month later saying they needed a DJ. Then they were like, oh, forget it. But I ended up getting his number, so I took that as like I kind of just took that and ran with it. I would hit him up, and then that led me to get the opportunity through him to go on tour. He needed a DJ for a tour, and he was like, do you have your passport? And like he texted me that. I'm like, yeah. He's like, would you want to go on tour? And that was my fucking dream, and I was just like, hell yeah.
And this was for Smoke Perp?
No, it ended up being for Lil Mosey. I didn't know that he was a manager for Lil Mosey as well.
All right.
So yeah, that's when I went on tour with Lil Mosey in January 2019, I believe. And then I was with Mosey, so then he had a Rolling Loud gig, and that's when I performed that Rolling Loud during that year. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. So there's a couple things I want to dissect from what you were just saying that I think is important to, especially for people who are listening right now, who want to do what you're doing and is listening to this being like, yo, how the fuck do I do this? One of the biggest things that sticks out to me from what you're saying is that you literally are looking up people's contact information. What you're doing is networking, really.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's just reaching out to as many people as you can, because you never know what hits, And I think what's crazy is that I could already tell that you're very bold from what you did to your parents. That's one thing, right? But it's also takes another level of boldness to also be able to do that to people who I think stereotypically feel like these giants. They feel like these people that you could never like attain yourself to reach or talk to, and then when you do finally get those moments, sometimes you get too nervous or whatever, and having that type of confidence is just like where do you think that confidence comes from?
I think I was just so determined. Like there's nothing else I wanted to do, and I was so determined, and by that point I knew how to DJ. Like I'm very familiar with everything that I do. I have so much history in DJing and throwing my own parties and stuff. So I was just like, yo, this is really what I wanted to do. And like, there was no other option. Like I left college. So, and I always been determined. I don't know, like I never been afraid to reach out and put myself out there like all the time. Like I just looked up different ways of what I could do to get where I need to be. And I think I was just very determined. People are afraid to do these things sometimes, especially like bother people through DMs. But I don't know. I guess I just feel like I knew my worth. I knew what I could bring to the table, and I knew who I could be and who I wanted to be. So I was just like, yo, like what can I do? Like I'll just hit people, like find so many different ways. I'll hit people up, or I'll dig deep and find emails, or just go on somebody's Instagram and see like the person I want to work for, like who is their team, and like I would just dissect that shit. Like I'll be looking at tagged photos. This person ends up being their freaking manager or stylist and like stuff like that. So I would just dig deep, but you just gotta go with it. Like if this is what you want to do, you got to make that shit happen. It's just not going to happen for you. Like I said, you got to go get those opportunities. No one's going to be like, oh, like that girl in Jersey. Like no one knew who the fuck I was, even though I did things here and there, but it's not enough. Like nothing's ever enough. Nothing's, even right now, like I still need to do more. I'm to this day, I'm still reaching out to people to do more things. And it's important because this is all about networking. It's all about trying to get opportunities and making these opportunities for yourself and putting yourself out there. It's always about putting yourself out there, because if you're just here with all these talents and you're not putting yourself out there, no one's going to know who you are. No one's going to know what you bring to the table, what you do. So very determined, know what I want.
Facts. So let's hop into that first tour then. So you get the call. he says, do you have your passport? Do you want to come on tour? How does that process work then?
They told me rehearsal dates. So I was gonna fly to LA. This is gonna be my second time in LA. So I flew to LA and they got me a hotel, and then we had like 2 rehearsal dates. So they booked a studio. I went to the studio, met Mosey, we rehearsed and practiced for about 2 days, and then they flew me back. And then tour started, like they booked my flight, and then I went over there, and that's just kind of how it went.
How is it dealing with did they send contracts over you to like sign?
Yes.
Did you have a manager at the time, or were you doing this all by yourself?
All by myself. To this day, I don't have a manager. But yeah, everything I ever did, it was always by myself. That shit's crazy. Can't wait to have a team one day though. But always like whatever you gotta do, it's probably gonna be solo for a while. So you gotta take initiative and be your own boss. But yeah, this is my first time into these things. I want to make a book one day in the future about all these processes behind the scene that we don't talk about. Like you're talking to me about like, you know, signing contracts and stuff, and like this is my first time ever going on tour, ever really working in the music industry at all. So I don't know a lot of things. So like I said, my mom always had my back. My mom is a very smart lady, so I go to her for almost everything, especially when I have to type anything. Like she always has my back helping me. So like I read these contracts. Obviously it's hard as fuck to understand. My mom read it, but like it was basically like I sound like a tax form, and nothing like crazy, you know, just like basically I'm gonna be DJing, you know. I forgot what it mainly was, but it was nothing crazy like, you know, like I have to be signed to somebody or something. It was just like I forgot what I was acknowledging, just like I guess respecting the artist in a way, you know, like I'm here to do my job and how much I get paid. Stuff like that.
Word. And was it like, I'm guessing it's just one lump sum, right? You don't have to say the amount or whatever. We don't have to get into that.
Like how much I would get paid and stuff?
I mean, if you want to share, you can share. But if you don't want to, it's all good.
Sure, I don't mind. Like this is things people could learn from. I don't recall a lot, but I think I used to get paid like 150 to 200 per show. For every show. And then they also pay you per diem, which means they pay for your food. They'll give you a certain amount of money weekly. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was like 700. I forgot. But I know it's like the minimum for that, I think it's like $25 a day or something you get for food. So they would send that like, I think like a 2-week check. So like that would be my money for food, but also, you know, my money to spend what I need to spend it on, but because I'm traveling, so I need to eat. So yeah, so I would get like 200 per show, and then I wouldn't even just DJ for Mosey, like I DJ'd for the openers too. So I did a lot of work. I feel like I learned a lot because I did a lot of work, you know, like that shit's so hectic. Like I would wake up, go to sound check, get something to eat, and then like I wouldn't really have time to do a lot. I would have to just get ready and do my set, and then like I'd be the first one up performing with all the openers, and then I have to do my own set before Mosey comes out. Like I was just like, no, not really time for me to chill. I'm always on stage the whole time. So I feel like, you know, it was my first gig, my first tour ever. So like I took it, of course, like it's an opportunity. I still to this day, it's hard to figure out like what I am worth, you know. It's hard like to know. So yeah, I feel like, you know, now I wouldn't charge with all my history and stuff. I'm not gonna do a show for that much, but that's how much I did for my first tour. So obviously as you go, the years go on, you progress, and
Yeah, for sure.
your rate goes up.
So the process of everything going on too, like I know like they're saying like in the contract you're the DJ and everything, and you had known how shows work previously. How was this different from everything else you've done up to this point?
What do you mean, like the tour?
Yeah, because like, you know, because without the DJ, without you, like nothing.
Right.
You know, you're literally the person.
Yeah.
And you're doing your own sets. Like, how is it like? I guess basically, I'm more asking the rehearsals. What exactly were rehearsing at those rehearsals?
I was rehearsing like song transitions, like getting familiar with our track list, also getting familiar with where the song stops, because you know sometimes we don't do the entire song, so I gotta know where to bomb out and like just get familiar with everything. And then obviously like 2 days of rehearsal is not enough. Rehearsal is like just to get familiar, but once you're on stage, like that's when you really start learning. So that's pretty much what we rehearsed, and like also just meeting him as well and just getting like familiar with each other. It's very important. It's very important that you just build chemistry with artists, especially like when you're on stage. Like that's always been I'm not gonna lie, one of the hardest things for me, because like I go on tour and I don't know these artists. I know of them, or like I know them, but I don't personally know them. And then like us being on stage, it's like we're the only people on stage, so we need to be on point. Like sometimes the artist wants to like stop the song earlier than our usual, like where we usually end it. So I have to like see the artist look at me and just know, like you gotta like know each other and just be familiar with what they do. And that's a lot of my job as well, because you know they're performing, and if they want me to stop that song, they're just like, you know, that's what I'm saying, like you just have to get familiar with each other so I know what's up, so I'm not fucking up.
Yeah. So tell me, how was that first meeting then with Lil Mosey? Did you know who he was beforehand, or?
I think I knew of him. Wasn't too familiar with him. I hadn't listened to his music as much, but obviously when I went on tour, I knew all his songs. But cool kid.
Word.
Yeah.
Word. And how was that always like that first? I'm just thinking like the first moment like you met him, right? Was it like just like a cool like hello, and then like, you know, that's kind of like really it? 'Cause sometimes it's hard because it's like sometimes you see artists who are very just work motivated, so it's like I don't know you yet,
Yeah.
you know, type shit. So it's like, oh hey, what's up, and then it's kind of it.
Yeah.
And like, how was your reaction? Because you have a very big personality.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I get very nervous. Like, I'm very nervous, especially that was my whole first tour, my first time flying to fucking LA to do a rehearsal for a tour and shit. It's very nerve-wracking for me. And I'm out there by myself, so I got there, set up my stuff, and I'm just waiting for him to walk in. And then he walks in with a couple of his friends, and like I just say what's up to them, and you know, it's just like just being by myself. Everything I do a lot is alone. I'm by myself, literally, especially when I'm in a different place working with other people. I'm by myself. I don't bring anybody with me. So, you know, they walk in and they're very comfortable with each other. They're all friends. Like, this is their fucking shit. And I'm just like the newbie. So, you know, I said what's up, and then like they would ask me where I'm from and like how old I am. We just had like little small conversations like that, and then we get to work, and then like she's telling me what he wants, and then I'm just like learning. And then, yeah, and then we just I remember, like, we had a small conversation. He was saying he was performing that night. And I was like, oh, I'll pull up because I'm literally by myself here in LA. So I went, watched him perform at the show. He did, like, a song for, like, this clothing store, like a grand opening or something. And that was pretty much it. Like, you get to know more of the artists once you're, you know, living with them on the bus and stuff.
word. So how is that then? How is that? So you were on the bus with him and, like, you know, just going through?
Yeah, like it was me and like two of the openers, C Glizzy and Suave, which was his best friend, and then Mosey. They were the openers, so they were the people I performed with. And so they're on the bus. Then I have like the tour manager who like makes sure everything's in order. Then we have the sound engineer who is on the side like doing the mic stuff and making sure levels are good. Who else was on the bus? Oh, then we have like the merch people who sell merch, creative director as well. So it was all of us living on the bus.
So how many people like in total do you have like on the bus?
12. Yeah, a lot of people. It was definitely it was my first experience, so I will never forget my first tour experience. It was just such a wild experience to live on a bus. It's something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to go on tour. I've always wanted to DJ concerts. So everything is new for me. I'm learning. I learned everything through my first tour. You know, they just throw you in and like, boom, I learned everything like that. You can't prepare for that.
Did you have anything that like went wrong like during the time that you were touring with Mosey?
Damn, I think I don't really remember, but I think I remember we were in like I think Arizona in this super small city. Like literally there was probably like 300 people who lived there. So the audio went off like completely, and then like he was just like in the middle of a song and then just cut his mic too, and I'm just like, oh shit. And like I was just like, fuck. Like that happens a lot though. Like that happened to me so many times at any gig. Sometimes like shit fucks up, like technical difficulties.
No, yeah,
so
no, I get it.
Yeah, that's probably kind of like just the craziest thing to happen, because then he was just like, whatever, like nothing's working. I don't know what had happened, and there's not much we could do, so we just left. We're not gonna just stay there waiting for, like, power to come back on. Nothing was working. So yeah.
You know, that's tough. Go because my background is sound engineering, and like I'll be thinking about like the backgrounds of like what happens, and I know a couple of people who have like worked for like the Grammys before, and like if a mic cuts off at the Grammys, it's diggity, yo.
Yeah, that's just
It's
scary.
over. Yeah, and especially for the artist, like it could be like mad like nerve wracking. Only difference, I guess, like I don't know. In the Grammys, sometimes like people be like lip syncing. So if their mic cuts, like it's fun.
Yeah.
It's super fun. But so then you're going. I watched a little bit of your vlogs when you were out, like
It was
doing
such
your
a
thing.
baby.
Yeah, no, but it's great. It's great to film and kind of like see the whole background of everything, and you like talking to yourself as well. Did it ever feel like super lonely when you were out there?
So much. Every time I go on tour, I feel like so homesick. I am such a homebody. But yeah, that just took a toll on me. That was my longest tour yet, I think. Like, we did like January to June. So I was away from home a lot, and I learned a lot about myself. Being alone is hard. Especially like I think I was like 20 years old or 21, but yeah, I was very alone, but I learned how to, like when you're just busy, like you're busy. But like on off days and stuff, like that's when it like really truly hits you, because it's just like, now I'm just gonna sit in this hotel room and what the fuck do? I guess I'll just go explore. But then again, I'm wasting money, so it's just hard, Definitely got homesick. I always get homesick. That's why, like, to me, tour is a love and hate relationship, because I love it, but it's just like, it's a lot because I'm by myself alone and I want to be home. It's like your life is really paused. Like, I'm working every day and it's what I love to do. And then I'm not gonna say it's working, because it's not work to me. Like, I truly love it, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't have time to just chill or go hop in my car and go for a drive. Nothing. Like, I'm literally living on a bus, and then I go perform, and it's just like repeat new city every day. So I be missing my family and my friends so much. Those are my people.
Yeah, of course. What was the dopest thing you did outside of like the tour, that like when you had a day off?
Definitely explore. Like, my favorite. It's crazy because I've been on, I think, 4 tours, and I've never. The Lil Mosey tour was the tour that I went outside of the States. So we did Europe and then Australia, and that shit was such an experience I would never ever forget, ever ever. It was just so beautiful to explore. Like, Europe is so different. I'd be telling people it's a different world. Like, you have to go. Like, it's crazy that it's right there, but it really feels like you're on a whole other planet. It's very different. Like, going to London and just like seeing, like, sightseeing all these places, it looks nothing like the US. It looks nothing like Jersey, So seeing these things for the first time, being able to go like ride scooters and look at everything, that was like my favorite part. Also, like, experience different like club scenes and stuff out there. Such a vibe. Underground scenes. Going to Australia, I went ziplining in New Zealand on some island. Like, that was like honestly the best. Like, outside of the US is what I've like experienced. That was my favorite experience. I've seen so much. Like, I could just stand outside and see so much.
Yeah, yeah, and it's crazy how much you learn from the different cultures, and I think through like traveling and seeing these like different cultures, different people, like it makes you better to try to like feel out people, and I guess it kind of plays perfectly like when you're a DJ, because like music brings everybody together, and it's like music is that universal language
Exactly.
that everybody can understand.
Yes, exactly.
And I don't even need necessarily say understand, but like feel,
Yes.
like feel through the body and soul.
It's universal. It's like music is love. Like, that's just something we all share.
So talk to me about, so you end this tour with Lil Mosey, you're back home. What's the next move?
Whew, it was summer, and I was just like, well, what the fuck do I do now? Yeah, bro. I'm just like, all right.
Because did you expect, because I would feel like anybody who's like probably seen you, they're like, oh, you probably got all the connects now, you're probably like mad wanted now, but it wasn't like that when it ended, right?
It's so crazy. No, like, I mean, I made a lot of connections for sure. Good connections. But it still doesn't, what do I say? Like, determine where I go next. Like, I did this, okay, I experienced this, I learned from this. Now, what do I do now? You know, like, I can't just having these connects is a great thing because honestly, the music industry is nothing but connections. Like, very much like so. Yeah, I kind of just I don't remember exactly what I did. I think I just started looking for gigs around here, and then like summer, that's when I got news again that I'm going back on tour in August. So it was just like back to back. Like, I got this opportunity, and I was just like, "Oh shit, here we go."
On tour with like Lil Mosey again? Or?
No, Polo G
Oh, word.
and Lakel, yeah.
Word. So how was that? So how did that happen?
My boy Seven, who's a really good friend of mine, he told me like that these people who he knows were holding auditions for a tour with this artist named Lakel. And Polo G was on tour with me, with Lil Mosey. He was opening, and I would DJ for Polo G too. So I knew Polo, and now he's going on his own tour. And then Lakel, the artist that I DJ'd for, he was opening for him. So they were looking for a DJ. So my boy Seven got me the audition, and I went. This was my second tour. I never like auditioned for a tour, so I went in there. Like, it's always nerve wracking, but like you gotta go and confident. You know, you gotta go confident. You know what you bring to the table, and just like do it. So I remember I walked in there. He was mid performing. It was in a studio in New York, and with another DJ. I guess the DJ was doing his audition, and yeah. Then the DJ had left, and it was my turn. And then I like saw I got to see that DJ's audition, you know? So I was just like, that dude was kind of just sitting there, like, pressing the button. And I was just like, nah, like, that's not how you audition. Like, you gotta, like, I'm gonna show who I am. Like, anybody could, I'm not gonna say anybody could DJ, but, you know, like, personalities matter. So I went, I auditioned, and like I just got into the music because I had listened to it prior, and then I also used like a lot of my sounds, like sound effects, like bombs and stuff, and like I was just bopping with him while he was performing. Like, and it's weird because like, you know, we don't know each other, just met each other, and now I'm gonna audition in this small room while like 3 people watch. So it's so fucking scary, but I ended up getting it.
How do you prep for that audition? Because I'm a little bit like confused. Like, so did they just have like they just like were like, oh, we're gonna play one of his songs, like DJ to it?
I think they gave me like 3 songs and told me like where to stop one of the songs or something, and like we kind of just ran through it like if we were performing live. So like they also gave me a mic, and I hate talking on a mic, but like I found it in me to like, yo, this is audition. I want this tour. I want to go back on tour. So I was even talking on the mic and just saying like, let's go, like, you know, just
in the studio.
In the studio.
How many people were in the studio?
Like 4. So yo, that's what I'm saying. That's just awkward as hell. But I fucking did it.
Yeah, I know, bro. Sometimes it'd be like
Yeah.
that. It'd definitely be like that.
I had to step out of my comfort zone OD and like I gotta fucking do this shit. So nervous.
I think you're perfect for that though. I'm just laughing so hard because I could just picture you in there, and like, you know, it's weird because did you get to see, were the people like behind you? Like, what was
They were in front of me.
Oh,
I was in the back.
Front of you.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're looking at everybody. Look
Yep.
at you doing your thing. Oh,
Yeah.
sad. So they tell you get the gig, you go back on tour. How did that tour go like?
That tour was good. I went from like, you know, my first tour was on a bus, and then my second tour was in a Sprinter van. So that was different. So yeah, we traveled in a Sprinter van, and then we stayed at hotels. Really fun experience. Everything, all my tours are just really good experiences. I just learned from a lot of it. Like, it's definitely an experience, like going from like a tour bus to full-on shows to like going to like an opener, because that's who I was teaching for, like how he was opening for Polo G. So it was just a different experience for me. I got to learn what it's like to, you know, be on a Sprinter bus and be the opener. But it was fun. Same like experience,
like
same vibes. Yeah, like new cities, new people, different crowds. Cause you know Lil Mosey and like Polo G are different in a way, you know. So I just different people. It's just always good vibes and just learning from it.
Mm-hmm. So then you said you went on a total of 4 tours, right? So Polo G was the second one. So when did this third one come around?
Have I been on 4 tours? I feel like I'm missing. I'm telling you, my memory's so bad.
No, it's all good. We're just
Oh
chilling.
yeah, I went on tour with Boslin like 2 months ago, March or April. Yeah, I went on tour with lying. Scratch that. I went on tour with Jack because that's when the pandemic hit. After the Polo G tour, that's when the whole pandemic hit. So that was like
So after it hit after.
yeah, like right after that tour. It's crazy because I was supposed to go back on tour with Laquel. So that was like August to September of 2019, and then 2020 that was COVID, right? So yeah, that hit, and that was literally the week we were supposed to go back on tour with Laquel. He was gonna do his own run. That's when everything got shut down.
Damn.
So that whole year was just dead for me. And
So what did you do between that year?
play Call of Duty. I play Call of Duty. I got a job at Amazon. Yeah, it was like pandemic shit. So, the fuck was there to do? It was just so hard. Like, it was a lot because the music industry was just off. Like nothing was going on, and it was a very much like a learning experience. Humbled because it's like I was doing all this. I was just like my momentum, and then boom, like this just slaps me in the face. And what do I do now? Now I gotta like learn how to get back up when the music industry starts opening. So it's such like this ride and this journey is so fluctuating. Like I'll be doing so many things. I'll be up there, and then boom, like I gotta learn how to go back up there again.
Can we talk about something that's kind of wild that I kind of heard you just say? So like you got a job for Amazon, right?
Yes.
Were you working other jobs at any point, like when you got off the tour and stuff, just to like make some money, or was it kind of just like living off of what you made off after tour?
It was living off what I made, but it gets really hard. So like I said, like during the pandemic, I picked up the Amazon job because I had ran through my whole savings. There's no gigs happening, no parties, there's nothing. So I got that job, and yeah.
How does your resume look for that job? Yo, I'm just thinking, bro. Like, if I'm the Amazon boss, right, and then just I'm looking at it, it's like, yo, like, you know what I mean?
Yo, my resume is everywhere, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, even just like applying sometimes, like I don't know what jobs to put in. I usually remake my resume to like fit towards whatever I'm applying for. Because like I have a lot of daycare experience. I've worked at like 4 or 5 daycares. A lot of retail. I've done like Big Lots, Joyce Leslie, like I've done a lot. And then the Amazon thing, it was like a shopper, so I would just do people's food shopping and stuff. But yeah, I don't know, hella shit on that. I would pick up whatever I can.
So 2020 pandemic hits. I know all of us were going crazy, you know, during that time. It was a rough time. But so how does this end up leading? So after the pandemic, right? When did you kind of start seeing like pickups again now for like getting gigs? Like because that was 2020.
Yeah.
So was it like end of 2020 that you started seeing things coming back up? Because things were opening up mad slow.
Yeah.
So, or was it like 2021?
It was more like 2021, but also like in the summer, I think after the pandemic, I don't know if I remember, like little, like, you know how they had the COVID restrictions, maybe like 20 people at a bar or something. So like that was happening. But it was hard because like these places weren't like booking people to DJ. But then they like once like it was just depending on the rules. Like once the rules got a little like more like lenient, then they started booking people to DJ. But it was still so slow. But it was just the summer that it was like okay. But then like it was like back to like shut down like in like I don't know like the fall in a way. But I started doing just like weddings and like like little like events here and there. So yeah.
So now, how did this all? So what was the gig that you got after the pandemic? Then was that with Jack then, or was that with Boslin? You said
no. Boslin was the most recent. So with Jack, like we went it was 2021. I got that in like September. So last year.
So how does this happen? Because like that's wild. You know that's wild.
It happened because I was a fan of Jack for a very long time. So yeah, I would like I've been to like 1 or 2 of his shows, and then I was familiar with his DJ, and then I had like found out in the summer of 2021 that his DJ like I saw him on the news for, I really don't want to speak about it, but whatever. His DJ got some charges or something. So I saw that and I was just like, damn, like, and I knew like they were really close. Like they grew up together. Like I knew about Jack because like he was my favorite rapper at the time. So I kind of saw that as an opportunity, and I started reaching out to his people, like DJ Drama, and then I started finding like who his manager was. Like I said, like I do my research and stuff, and I just started like, and I had no idea what was going on in his situation, like if he had a DJ or whatever. I just saw like boom, like he looks like he doesn't have a DJ anymore, so let me just put my name out there anyway, and yeah, I started DMing them, saying like my apologies for like what like they're going through at the moment with the whole situation, but if they need a DJ, that you know, I'm a DJ and I'm from Jersey, blah blah blah. So yeah, and then like I even let him know. I was just like, hey, like just to let you know, like I reached out to your team to see if I could DJ for you, and he was just like, thank you and stuff like that. But so I didn't get word, like I was like beasting because I saw he was going on tour, and I was just like, yo, I want to get this tour, right? So like I'm DMing them, and then like I remember DJ Drama replying like, yeah, I'm gonna send this to the team, like I guess like my message, and then nothing was happening, and I'm just like nah, this needs to happen. Like I really want this, like I really like love Jack Harlow as an artist, so his music. And my mom, like telling my mom is like my rock, like she was like, you know, like let's think out the box, like what I could do differently. Like she was like, maybe you could do like a little performance and send to them. So I was like, yeah, it's a great idea. So I set up in my backyard, and Chris recorded me, and I like did like a little Jack Harlow mini set, and I edited it and I put like, yo, like DJ Niyah on like Harlow tour or something, like as a caption, and then like is me like mixing his songs together within like less than a minute, and then just like me hyping, like pretending to hype up in the crowd. And mind you, I'm in my backyard, but I don't know, I needed to like stand out in a way. Like a DM is not gonna do everything all the time.
Yeah.
So I also knew like somebody on his team a little more personal. So like I had sent this video to her, and I was just like, hey, do you think like this is too much? Or like she was like, no, this is fire, like I'm gonna send it over to them now. So then like I think that's what really got me the gig, the whole tour, because it's just like I'm trying, you know, like I didn't just send that DM and give up. Like I'm like, I gotta do something different now, like to like get their attention, because they're doing a whole bunch of shows and festivals. These people are busy, and like I just really manifested that. I really wanted it because I loved his music, and I was like, yo, imagine like DJing for somebody like I fuck with heavy. So yeah, they ended up he ended up calling me, and he asked for my number, called me, and asked me if I could like do an audition. So they flew me to Atlanta. So nervous. I'm always nervous, yo, for anything.
Real quick before we get to Atlanta, he called you like himself?
Yeah.
That's dope. How does that phone call go? Like, did you pick up the ID and it's Jack Harlow, or
No, he had DM'd me, and he was just saying like, hey, like is it cool like if I give you a call or something? And I was just like, yeah. And then like with the whole video, like I had sent it to DJ Drama's DM too, and he was like that Jack was very impressed with the video. And then like a few days after that, Jack like him DM'd me asking if he could call me. So like I was sitting at Starbucks, and it was crazy because I was like, that day I was just so like depressed, because it was just like I was so low on money, and I was just like, yo, like damn, like what am I gonna do next? Like I really gotta like get my shit together. I probably gotta get a job again. Like I was just going through it that day. And then that's when he like DM'd me like, hey, like can I give you a call? And I was sitting at Starbucks, like really just like, I looked at that shit, was like, what the fuck? Like this shit's crazy. So then like then he called me, and then he was saying that he was like looking for a DJ, and that if I'm like able to audition, that it would just be an audition right now. It's not like permanent. And I was just like, hell yeah, like I'm down. Like I don't really have like a job right now or anything. Like so I'm available to go on tour and stuff.
So how was the audition in Atlanta then? Was it similar like to the one you were doing for Polo G?
Yeah, something like that. Like they got us a little studio room, and it had like a little stage, and they set up. I brought my DJ equipment, and the people who worked there helped me set it up, and then I kind of just waited for Jack. They already gave me like his music, that I would be playing. So he came, I said what's up to him, and I've met him before at a show and stuff. So we kind of just got right into it. He started performing while I was playing his songs, and I was like, yo, I'm nervous to like get on the mic because I know like as a DJ and an artist, like you got to be on the mic. So and it's just so weird because it's just me, him, and his engineer Nikki, and like I don't know them really, you know. So it's just like I really have to put myself out there at these moments because they need to see what I'm capable of. So I was literally telling him like I'm like, yo, like I'm scared to talk on the mic. He's like, come on, you got this. Let's do it. And I'm like, all right, bet. So nervous because I'm like I hate hearing my voice on the mic and stuff, but I was DJing for him while he was performing. I was just like I said, getting familiar with the track list, getting familiar with how he performs, where to stop the songs, and like also just saying like a little words here and there. And yeah, the audition went good. I felt good about it. After the audition, like we kind of just sat and like just talked about like different artists we listened to and stuff.
So, I have just a quick question. When you saying words here and there, like what are you talking about?
Oh, like when I'm on the mic and I'm just like, cause it's crazy. Cause like in my previous tours, the people I DJ for, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know their music. Like I didn't know Lakel. Like I didn't listen to Lakel until like I found out I'm gonna go on tour with him. Then I started getting familiar with his music. Same thing for Lil Mosey. Like with Jack, like I listened to all his music. So like I already knew like what to say. Like I would like fill in a word sometimes because I know the lyrics, stuff like that. That's what I meant by like saying words here and there.
Could you give an example?
Like, let me see. I'm trying to think of a song. Like just speaking on the mic.
Yeah, why not?
What I don't know why. Like I'm having a brain fart. Like I can't think of one song. Like Sundown. Like, yeah. No, I'm gonna suck at this right now because I can't think of lyrics in songs at the moment.
No, you're cool, bro. I'm not gonna like force.
But you know what I mean, though.
I know,
like,
I got you.
like if like the lyrics, like I'll fill in a word, like like for Sundown, I can't think of the lyrics right now, but yeah, no, fuck this, I can't.
No, I got you.
But you know what I
bro.
mean.
I got you, bro. Yeah, no, I totally got you. So, talk to me a little bit then after. So, how is the processes all similar? Kind of when they're behind the scenes though. It's like they hand you a contract, you look it over.
Yeah.
Shout out, yo, you looking over the contract again, like with your mom, I assume.
Yes.
Like, yo, dude, shout out to your mom, bro. That's
Yeah.
great. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
So, how long was this tour now with Jack?
How long was the tour? September to like January.
And where'd you guys travel?
All in the States and Canada.
So, how was that first show with Jack, and where was it?
It was in Florida. I think St. Petersburg. No, I don't know. It was in Florida. I forgot where. Damn, why can I remember? Oh no, I'm lying. Our first show was a festival. I forgot where too, but that was like they were saying, like they were telling me it was before tour. He had a festival, so I was gonna go DJ the festival with him so they could see, like it was basically live performance audition for real before tour, and that shit went well. It was fun. I feel like I loved it. It was vibes. It was a whole festival. Everybody's jumping, singing his lyrics. I'm singing his lyrics. It was just great momentum. Loved it.
So, were you also traveling on the tour bus, like throughout the states and stuff?
Yeah.
So, who was on the tour bus?
The same thing like the Mosey tour. Like it goes from like the merch people to damn, why can't I remember? Well, no, not the merch people. The merch people had their own their own truck. So it was me, his like personal trainer, just like people who work, like the engineer, his manager.
Was there a personal trainer for Mosey?
No. But like security as well. I forgot to mention security goes on the tour bus with us. It's like, you know, the people who are working, the tour manager, people who just work. We all live together on a tour bus.
So, what was the biggest show that you had performed to this point? Was your biggest show with Jack? Because I imagine, because he's kind of like the thing that's popping right now, right, in the industry. So, like, what was the biggest show that you performed up to this point?
Like in my history of DJing.
Yeah.
I'd say. Definitely like festivals, like Mosey, hitting the main stage with Mosey at Rolling Loud was one of my first biggest ever. I've even like DJ'd for Polo G on the main stage with Rolling Loud. Amazing. Same thing with Jack, like we did festivals as well. Like festivals are our biggest. obviously it's like thousands and thousands of people. So it's always festivals for me. So my first biggest one was Rolling Loud.
So what was your favorite show that you had with Jack?
My favorite show. I don't know if I have a specific favorite show. I loved all the shows. My favorite shows definitely were the ones that like, cause like every city you go to, everybody's different, you know. So I always loved the shows that like people knew the lyrics. Like everyone always knew the lyrics, but obviously there's just more shows that like you feel more momentum. Like it feels more like, I don't know, different. Like everybody's like so in tuned and like the lyrics, everybody's screaming the lyrics in the top of their lungs. Like I always love those shows.
Word. And so what was the biggest thing you learned from going on this tour?
This recent one?
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing I learned was that, like, I don't know if I want to put this into words correctly, but like my job's not done. like I have so much more to accomplish. I have such a long journey in front of me, and like, you know, people see like that I went on tour with Jack, and like they think like I'm just like, oh, like she's like up there or whatever, like. And to me it's just like, you know, I got this taste of like, because this was like the most professional tour I've ever been on, most organized, everything. So like I learned so much from my other tours, and then to go on this tour is just like so different. It's so very on point, and I loved it. It was so professional, and like even working with Jack, it was just very like, you know, on point. We like to like go over our things and stuff. It's very important that we're on point for everything, and it was such a solid team that I worked with. So I think I just learned that like even though I got a taste of like, you know, working with a huge artist and stuff, like my job is not done. Like I have so much more to accomplish, and I'm so eager. Like this hustle does not go away. Like, you know, I worked with these people, but it's still like there's still so much more to accomplish. Like it's not like that's it. Like no, like I have such big dreams, and I need to just keep going. So to me, it's just like, I guess what I learned is just like, I feel like I get a taste of here and there of what it's like to be like, you know, very much like in the music industry deeply, like networking and having all these opportunities while on tour, and like experiencing so much, people going out to like dinners and just so much like, I guess, lavish things in a way. But, you know, like my job's not done. Like I'm hungrier. There's always things that need to be done. There's more I need to work on, and I just feel like I learned that, if that makes sense. Like I just learned that like this is not it. So
No, I actually completely get that too. You know, especially with, you know, what we're trying to do here at the podcast as well. Like I don't even feel like it's not even the beginning. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
exactly. It really isn't.
And it's cool because you make big milestones in anybody, any career that you try to go for. There's always these milestones, but I think what separates, I think, anybody who's, because you're your own boss, you
Right.
know, and when you finally get to the position where you're your own boss, everything is on your shoulders.
Yes.
Everything you do, every accomplishment, and it's the most gratifying, but also like the hardest.
Yeah.
Because what I'm starting to realize, you know, especially after talking in this whole conversation, what like I think a lot of people will get is just, you know, one big gig does not mean your life is set.
Exactly. No,
it's
at
it's
all.
not how it works.
Yeah.
It's not how it works. And yeah, will your name get around? Yeah, will it bring up more opportunities?
Yes.
That's great, but you can never have enough
No,
opportunities.
never.
You know?
Yeah.
And then working on like even a project that's even bigger is like, it's a lot. So I kind of want to shift the conversation a little bit. Actually, I have one more question about that.
Yeah.
Was there any point that you felt like, because I think a conversation that me and Chris had went to break, we were talking about how when you meet like, you know, any celebrities or anything like whatever, like you these people just seem like on such a high pedestal, but then when you kind of get down to earth with them, you're like, yo, we're people. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck, you know? But although, with that being said, was there any point where like you met somebody and you're like, oh shit, like you're this person while you're on tour?
Fucking Drake.
Oh
Like,
shit.
I mean, not really. Like, I always look at these people as people, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm so in this industry, I see famous people left and right. Like, these people are people to me.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, to me, like, you know, obviously Drake is like the GOAT. Like, he's the one. So, like, I never thought that I would meet him, you know, ever. So,
How
like,
how was that like? Where was that?
that was in Toronto. We had a show. I'm literally performing, and he's just like up there on the balcony, and I'm just like, yo, like, just really taking this shit in. Like, yo, I'm really performing, and Drake is literally watching. Like, this shit is fucking crazy. It's so like I can't even put it into words. It's just like really like an insane, incredible feeling and experience that I got to do that I never like. I swear, like these things happen, and I never in a million would think like, oh yeah, I'm performing Drake one day, or I'm gonna be on the Rolling Loud stage and be there next year. Like, you know, like I don't like really like think of these things, but yeah, it was amazing. I went upstairs and I had to pack my equipment. I went upstairs, and then like as soon as I opened the door, like I looked at everybody looked at me because the door opened, and then like he looked at me and he was just like, hey, like came and hugged me and then walked away, and I was just like, oh shit, like that's crazy, like he hugged me. But at the same time, like I said, it's people, but it's like for Drake to me, it's just like Drake is like such a inspirational person to me, like into everybody, into the entire world. So it's just like, you know, the GOAT is literally standing in front of me, but always human being too, you know?
No, I definitely feel that. I want to kind of switch the conversation a little bit to Jersey.
Yeah.
Number one, there's not too many people doing what you're doing in Jersey. I don't even know if I can name any other DJs that I really know, to be honest. And Jersey kind of has its own scene where it's like, it feels dead.
Yeah.
It feels like it's lacking love.
Yes.
But there's still talent coming out of Jersey.
Yeah.
What do you feel like? I don't know if this is the right way to go about it. What do you think changes your story? How do you think your story is different and from what is possible than what other people can do as well?
What do you mean? Like in Jersey? Like how is my story different?
Yeah, do you think like other people could do what you're doing?
Hell yeah. I think anybody could do what I'm doing. I feel like anything is possible. Like I I feel like I'm a living example. That's what I really like to like with everything that I have under my belt, like I want everyone to take this and be like, yo, she could do it, I could fucking do it, because that's exactly how it is. Like anyone who's doing something like big that you look up to, like you can do that. And I don't know, I'm just very strong about this because like it may look so far, it may look like, you know, is it possible? But I feel like I'm living proof. Like I feel like I manifested so many things that I wanted in my life, and I feel like that's just so important. Like anyone could do what I'm doing. Like it's all about you getting to do it and like how you're gonna do it and what you could be doing to get to where you want to be. It's all about that, and I feel like anyone could do what they want to do.
What do you think Jersey is lacking for it to be a powerhouse in this industry?
I think it's lacking a lot of like connecting with each other. I feel like, and I understand everybody does their own thing and everyone has their own people and stuff, but at the end of the day, like this all turned, like the music industry is all connecting. Like people meet up and work together and see what they can create, and it could be beautiful all or whatever. It could be just an experience or a learning lesson, whatever, but it's all about like connecting with each other, and I feel like that's something we don't do. But I really love that. Like, I like to like try and bring that out when I throw my events. I love to have people together connecting. I feel like I really bring that vibe, and that's why I really do my events for everyone in the city to come through and have fun, and they really do. And plus, we don't have a lot of places that like allows us to like come together to just be one or just to connect and stuff. But I feel like everybody's trying to do their own thing and trying to get bigger, and I feel like I understand why it's like that. And I just wish we would be able to like have more studios, have more like things going on where we can meet up and network with one another and not be afraid. Because, you know, we see of each other on Instagram and see what we're doing, but it's about taking initiative and like hitting someone up and being like, hey, would you be down to like, you know, go to the studio or like anything. Like I feel like we don't do that. I feel like we're so stuck in our own ways that we're just like, oh, like I'm doing this and like I'm gonna do with like just the people I'm already doing it with. We don't take our own connections around here. We're trying to look from other places.
We're coming pretty close to the end of the podcast.
Meh.
But I do have a surprise for you.
Oh, you got a surprise for me?
Yeah, I got a surprise for you. For the listeners, we have never really done this on the podcast yet. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll be right back, guys. We'll be right back. And I will be in a completely different place. Welcome back to the Ayoo podcast. This is the first for the podcast. I wanted to do something that would kind of just give us a little bit of a different vibe here. So I'm going to explain to you what's going to happen. We're going to play this game, and we're kind of upping up the ante here for a little bit. The winner of this game, there's $100 on the line. Whoever wins the game gets to donate the $100 to a charity of their choosing.
Really?
Yep.
That's so
we'll make a
beautiful.
donation, of course, so we'll do that. And yeah,
Let's
we'll
go.
play the game, and then I'm going to be asking you questions during the game. All right? Does it sound like a plan?
Hell yeah.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and pick our characters. I'll grab this one. You can grab the other remote.
Yo, it's crazy.
All right. I'm definitely going Luigi.
Well, yes, she.
All right, bet. All right, so I have some questions prepared for you. And I also don't know which. I'm not. Shane.
Yeah.
What's the hardest level?
Bro, Rainbow Road is the fucking worst. Go all the way to the far right.
All right, bet.
No question.
I think this is kind of like a mixture of games.
Yo,
so
hold on. I haven't played this.
Yeah, I haven't either. So, I mean, okay, I think this is go, and then you steer with this.
Okay,
I'm pretty
bet.
sure. All right.
Ooh,
I'm definitely not doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, hold up. All right,
Do you need help
I'm
there,
back in.
buddy?
No, I'm good. All right. No. I think it's like who wins the most points out of all of this is like, you know, the ending of it. So we'll just see how it works out. I do have some questions though.
Yeah.
So Niyah, you being a DJ and especially a female DJ in this industry where there's not too many girls doing this, how does it feel like being that female DJ and being like an inspiration for other girls who, like I said, the only other DJ you were talking about, Yes Jules being an inspiration of yours.
Yeah.
How does it kind of feel being in those shoes now and being an inspiration for other girls who want to be DJs as well?
Wow. Fuck me. I'm very, I'm very honored, honestly. Like, it's a big part of why I do this. It's very hard. Like what I have done and how I've gotten here it's been so hard, you know? So to be like an example for these females is, it's very honoring. Like I, this is what I want to do. I'm sorry. I'm fucking up OD in this game, bro. I don't even know how to reverse. I feel like. Okay, I'm good. I think it's just like. Lewis, I don't know how to get out of where I'm at. All right, bet. Now we in here. Let's go. All right. I was like, yo, I'm trying to talk, but I gotta get out of here. All right. So I want to pave the way for more females in the industry. Like I said, like it's hard for me even like growing up to do what I want to do, and there's not many females that are doing what I'm doing. So now that I'm in this position, it's just like, yeah, like I want to be a living example for these females and have this impact. And it's like so incredible to have this impact. And when I see it in like real life, when these girls come up to me and ask me questions, or when I get DMs, it's really. I love it. Like it comes natural. Like I feel like I'm very helpful, and I want to help anyone in any way I can. And like being an example for these females is like something that we need more often in the music industry. So I'm very appreciative that I can like take this role and make this happen for us females.
What do you think is the biggest thing that a DJ needs to learn to become successful?
Wow. Depends by what you mean by like, cause there's so many different types of DJs, you know. So I think personality. Like, I don't know if you can learn personality, but you do need to learn how to put on a show, you know, and make the vibes and be the, you know, you're playing the music. So like, bring that energy, make everybody feel like they're here to have a good time and whatever you do. So I guess that, and like knowing your history of music, of course, like knowing what to play and how to read a crowd, that is what makes you successful, because reading the room, if you know how to read the room and know what to play, that's how you're gonna make all these people happy, whatever you're DJing, like even if it's concert, even if it's like a club, like whatever, like know what to play, and don't play it too long. Like, just keep switching it up, give it that vibe, make everybody come together.
If you turned into a man for a day, would you consider the name DJ Nigel Goodface?
Nigel Goodface?
Yeah.
No. What the fuck is that? Where did you come up with that?
I don't know. I was just trying to think about the opposites.
DJ Nigel Goodface.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because like badass, you know, good face. That's what I was thinking about it. I was thinking about like just the opposite of it, you know? I feel like when you think about the opposite like that, it's something I used to do with Winter Break a lot when we were working back at Cinnabon. Hold up. Pork roll or Taylor ham?
Taylor Ham.
Why?
Taylor Ham. Because I don't know, like Taylor Ham, egg and cheese be slapping, man. Nice and sweet.
Does Central Jersey exist?
So I don't want to be disrespectful to Central Jersey, bro. I really don't. But honestly, when I'm going down the shore, like there's nothing out there. But they exist. They're
exist?
out there. But
So who is Central Jersey then?
I cannot name anything in Central Jersey. I don't know. Somerset is down there, or where's the one that has the venue? You know, that New Jersey venue. You know what I'm talking about?
Asbury?
Well, Asbury Park is around there, but no, where they, I think Concert Crave used to have like things there.
I did lose. I think we have a couple more races, and I do have a couple more questions. Actually, maybe not. Hold up. Maybe we'll do one more. Hold up. Let me just quit this real quick. What are your top 3 songs that you feel as a DJ you be playing?
That's a good question. I've been asked this question before, and it's just probably outdated by now because I need to like refigure out this question. I just feel like Mo Bamba always goes crazy.
Hell yeah.
Like at concerts till this day, like you drop that and like, yeah, like, you know, we listen to it so many times. It's just like okay, like you know, but sometimes like at the same time people still like, it's something you could like get lit to. So Mo Bamba, but I not gonna lie, I won't play that now actually. Sometimes though, but it will get crazy. Like need to like play. I want to just pick an old school song. Sorry, I'm so bad with my fucking answering. To be honest, I have a hard time trying to think of songs at the top of my head. I'd be needing to look at my catalog. But I would just say like some, I don't know, can I name artists? I guess like,
yeah, go ahead.
Some like Travis Scott or some Kanye. Bro, move. All right. Just legendary shit. I'm sorry I can't come to a specific one. Definitely some Playboy Cardi at concerts if it's like a crazy, you know, festival or a vibe. Definitely drop in some Playboy Cardi sometimes. Yes, I like to make the crowd go crazy.
What are your favorite things about Jersey?
Just growing up here. I don't know. Even though like I just be wanting to get out of here a lot of the times. I feel like Jersey is just like and I've been to so many places, so I feel like Jersey is so cool how like we have like I have corner stores a block away from me. Like we have downtown. Like there's just so much around here. We got different like places and clubs and bars. Like it's very active out here. I love how like on a Monday you could go to a bar and there'll be people there. On Tuesdays, freaking Taco Tuesday over here, stuff like that. Like we have a whole community, and like when I go to these other places, it's dead. In a lot of places, they don't have all the things we have, and I feel like we really take that for granted. So like I'm very appreciative about like just all like the culture that we have here. Even though we feel like we don't have a culture, we really do compared to other places that I've been. Like we're the shit here.
Word. If you had to choose between 3 artists, and the artists are Drake, Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
and Frank Ocean, for their whole discography to be deleted, who would you have to choose between the 3 of them?
For like everything of theirs to be deleted?
Yeah, like it doesn't exist anymore.
I am a fan of all 3, but I'm gonna go with Frank Ocean. Because Drake is fucking like, bro, Drake is Drake. Like, we listened to him our whole life. Michael Jackson is a fucking icon that we grew up on as well, and for our parents. And Frank Ocean is still the shit. Listen to him, but it's not, you know, Drake and Michael Jackson are the ones that are worldwide remembered.
Yeah, I don't know who else I would cry to, because I don't know if I cried to anybody else more than I cried, like, you know, to Frank. I don't know, you know?
Really?
Yeah, I feel like Frank is like something like for me, like it's so personal.
Wow.
I don't know, it's weird. But I just thought I'd put that out there because I didn't know exactly how you felt about Frank, so.
I love
put that out
Frank,
there.
though.
Yeah. Nah, I love Frank too, bro. It'd be crazy. DJ for him would be crazy. I don't know.
Definitely would be sentimental.
Yeah, it'd be sentimental. Have you done any sentimental like DJ sets?
Not really. I mean, Lakel was a R&B singer. Very, yeah. So him, yes, I have.
By the way, I'm doing trash at this game because I'm trying to look at these.
Yo, so am I. But right now, I'm doing better than our first round. But go ahead.
All right, we got one more race after this. Who would you say? Wait, hold on. Actually, if you had to choose any other career besides what you're doing right now, what would you do?
Probably an astronaut. Something with NASA.
For real?
Yeah.
What's that? What's the
I
story
love
behind that?
space, bro. I love space. I love all that. I love the moon. I love the stars. I am obsessed with the moon. Know that people that I don't even know will send me pictures of the moon because they know how much it means to me. So, I don't know. Being somewhere in that industry, I think in another life, I'd be an astronaut. Definitely not this life though, because I don't want to be away from home for a year or so on a spaceship and shit. But in another life, I'll probably have the balls.
Is that why you started off the podcast saying you're part alien?
Yeah. I love alien and spaceship, I'm telling you.
You fuck with Elon Musk?
Yeah.
What was your most embarrassing moment that you've had at a show?
Oh my god, I feel like there's been such a couple of times that have been embarrassing. One time my boob popped out, but I don't think anybody noticed. I think I was jumping and like the shirt I had on was not secure. And yeah, I remember like turning around and being like, yo, that shit really just happened, but I'm gonna act like it didn't. And I remember getting off stage saying that shit. Yo. That was one of them.
Any music thing wise that was kind of embarrassing, or like I feel like you got your shit together, so I feel like that's kind of just like a whole.
Oh, like even if I fuck up on stage, bro, like even like no, sometimes like I would like fuck up, like switch the song and like or have a song is like in the mixer in the middle and both songs are playing and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on real quick? Very rare, and obviously now, but like it has happened and I'm just like, oh fuck, it happens. Like you're never not gonna go through embarrassing fuck ups and things. That's just always gonna happen. It's just how you react to it after, and I'm very bad at that because I panic right there and then.
How do you feel about how social media plays into what you do today?
I don't like social media. It personally I don't, but it plays such a big role in everything I do today. Absolutely everything. Everyone is on social media of all different ages. So everyone's watching, and like that's just like the biggest marketing place for absolutely anything. It's not like back in the day where like people were out here giving out their mixes and having flyers up and just hearing things through the radio. Like this is our source for everything now. So social media plays a big part, and it's all about being consistent and content and stuff like that now. So it's hard to keep up with always, especially alone.
This race, I'm gonna try to win.
All right, let's go.
I'm already off to a bad start. What city do you think is doing the best things for Jersey right now and has the most talent coming out?
Paterson. I don't know. I guess I'm just so involved with like Paterson. I feel like all the artists around here and stuff I know are mainly from Paterson. Like, and even if they didn't grow up in Paterson, even if they grew up like, I don't know, like North Bergen or something. I mean, that's definitely completely different. That's just type far. But I don't know. I'm very involved around here, and I know a lot of artists from over here, and I just see us doing a lot from around here. So I know there's artists all over these cities and stuff, but I rep Paterson. I know what's coming out of Paterson. I know the talent that we have. So to me, it's going to be my city.
If you could talk to yourself from when you were smaller, what advice would you give yourself to do differently?
In anything or in my career?
In your career.
I wish I took it more serious as a business side. I wish I started an LLC and stuff like in my prior years and made my own business, like official as an LLC. I wish I could tell myself to like not underpay yourself. Like there's just like I told you, I go through so much like how much I should be getting paid and stuff. Like know my worth, because I've done so many gigs where I've played myself, like, and I still do. I'm still learning from that and learning what's like what I need to get paid, and just doing things differently, like taking myself and my business, like DJing as a business, take it serious and know like yeah, I'd be repeating myself, but yeah, taking it,
I totally get you.
Money wise and business wise, just working with people and contracts. Contracts are a big deal. I have a hard time making them, but I know that they're very important. Even if you're telling like, I'm going to DJ from this time to this time at this venue for this artist, this is how much they owe me. Like as simple as that. Like I wish I could have told myself like to take this shit serious, like when it comes to the business side, because it's, music and DJing could be fun and shit, but like this is still a business at the end of the day. Like you got to remember that.
Who's a DJ right now that inspires you the most?
DJ Khaled. And he's not like, well, he's a DJ, but yeah, DJ Khaled is my biggest inspiration. I don't know why. I don't really have a lot of big DJ inspirations growing up. Like I know I know of a whole bunch of DJs, even like even Chase B or just different artist DJs inspire me too. Watching them and stuff, like my boy DJ Micro, he inspires me as well. But I don't know, I feel like DJ Khaled has been my biggest DJ inspiration because he DJs, he has so many businesses, and he's a producer. Like he puts artists on his own tracks. Like that's exactly what I want to do. Like I don't want to be limited to just a DJ. Like I'm trying to do it all.
So I know that you kind of dabbled into the realm of mixing and also producing. How is that different from what you do as a DJ, and how does it help?
Producing?
Yes.
Is definitely different. It could tie in so much to DJing. If I was like creating my own tracks to play, which I've been trying to do, like make my own beat and put like a acapella on it, or like even just create like shit with my people and make it a vibe and play that, like making a Jersey Club song or something. Definitely it could tie into it, but it's different because like it's just so different. Like I'm learning, like I know how to DJ and use a program, and now I'm learning how to use FL Studio and learning where like the drums go, but it all ties in because I'm already like a DJ, so I know music so much and I know like the beats and stuff, so like it makes it a little bit easier on me as a producer because I have so much experience with sounds and stuff. But it's definitely different. it's definitely different. But like I said, it could tie in because a DJ could be producing their own tracks, and that's how most of these DJs like go like viral, like for their TikTok songs that they produce and made into remix and stuff. Like that's what you could do when you take it all the way as a DJ or producer. But for my side, it's also slightly different because I want to make tracks for artists. I want to make R&B sounds. I want to make crazy ambient sounds. I want to make house music. I want to make, you know, trap song beats and stuff. So
you being in the industry and you seeing all the people that you've been around, what do you feel like is the most common piece of advice that you hear in the industry?
To be consistent and to keep going. Like, I think that's the most common advice people say, give, because it's true. Like, I've always said that, like, be consistent, be consistent, be consistent. And like, you keep saying it, but it really means it. Like, if you keep doing it and you don't stop, you're not giving up on it, you know, you may take a little bit of time off. Sometimes, you know, we fall off, we all fall off, but as long as you get back on your feet and you keep going and doing what you got to do and being consistent, it'll get you where you need to be. And it's very much easier said than done, but to me, that's the key. Like, as long as you're consistent. Got it. Yeah.
Niyah,
Luis.
I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Now that we're coming to the end of our podcast, congratulations too on the $100. I hope you put it to an amazing charity, but I know you will. What's next for DJ Niyah Badass from Paterson, New Jersey?
That's me. What's next? I ask myself this every day because it's hard. Like, I don't know what's next, but I do have goals. So my next moves are to move to California. I feel like there's better opportunity for me out there, and it's where I want to be and grow and connect with the people out there. Moving over there, and my next thing is I really want to be a producer. Like, I am going to be a producer. I'm going to take this shit all the way. I want to be, like I said, like I have a lot under my belt as a DJ, and I love it, and I want to keep going with it. I want to go on my own tour. I want to perform like in venues and have people pull up and just vibe with me and just bring that energy. I love having a good time, and I love that I would be able to do that all over the world, and I do that all over the world when I'm on tour and stuff. But I hope to have my own tour one day. I want to be, and I will be, a producer. And like I said, like you said, like, being a female, it really is different because there's not a lot of females in the industry. It's so rare. So it's just like, I can't wait till I could be a part of history where we get into the music industry in life, and it's just so normal having hella female DJs, hella female producers. And don't get me wrong, we're out here, but it's still men, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like at the end of the day, we're all people, but it does, for females, it does inspire other females to see one another doing something big. So yeah, I guess just I want to be right behind where Wonder Girl is. Like, I want to go all the way up there and be a full-time female producer and have my own tour. And I don't know what's next. I have goals, and I'm working towards those goals every day. Like I said, I'm going to Cali, and I just want to like do everything I can to be what I want to be. So those are my next steps, and I don't know where the fuck life is gonna take me because opportunities come left and right, you know. So those are my next things. And can I add something?
Yeah, of course.
I also, like, this whole summer, I really want to bring the community together and bring a different vibe. I feel like we have the same vibes here. So, and I feel like I bring people together around here with my events. So before I go to Cali, my goal is to throw a whole bunch of events around here, like picnics and outdoor events and indoor events and vibey things, and even just like a chill out like place where we could all get together and play like games or stuff like that. So trying to bring my community together. So that's definitely what's next here for me in Jersey, trying to bring everybody together in my events.
Niyah,
See.
thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you.
We
for having
appreciate
me.
you. We love you.
Love you as
To this
well.
camera, I guess, or to that camera, or to that camera. please let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Niyah Badass, Niyah Badass. That's kind of like my main thing. Or YouTube, DJ Niyah. Search up DJ Niyah on Google. Search up Niyah Badass on Google. You'll find me. So, yeah.
And guys, y'all already know the business. Ayoo Chill Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, Instagram. June in Jersey is officially over. Niyah, thank you so much for making this possible.
Thank you for letting me be able to express myself.
And yeah, I think it's time to get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here. Thank you. More donuts.
Yo, thank you, dude. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.